This is ABC15 Mornings.
A 4th of July unlike any other. The governor urging families to celebrate from home this holiday weekend to help stop the spread of coronavirus.
The president, however, celebrating Independence Day in South Dakota with thousands of people, some locals opposing the large gatherings which had very few restrictions.
And if you are going to stay safe at home, you've got to make sure that you're also being safe with those fireworks and sparklers. We're going to show you how to celebrate responsibly and avoid a dreaded trip to the ER, one you do not want to take, especially now. We are so glad that you're starting your 4th of July off with us. Hope it's off to a great start. I'm Nohelani Graff.
And I'm Mark Thompson, social distancing from home. Yes, happy 4th of July to everyone out there. And no, hey, a lot of my 4th of July memories involve hot weather.
Yeah.
And I guess it's going to be the same this year. It's
just how it goes. You know, it's Mother Nature's way of saying, oh yeah, we're in the middle of summer. Don't you forget right now. And that's how it's going to be today. She is cranking up the heat on us. We are going to warm up quickly too. By 8 o'clock, we'll be in the 90s. By noon, we're passing those triple digits already. And by 5 o'clock this afternoon, we're hitting that high temperature of the day, 110 degrees. It is going to be cooking. So if you can celebrate with your family next to a pool and get in the water, that's going to be the ticket for today. Right now, as you step outside, if you need to stretch your legs a little, open up the patio doors. It's okay. It's in the low 80s in Glendale, but we're already in the mid 80s in Goodyear, Mesa, 88 degrees in Phoenix, so you'll be in the 90s in no time at all. I'm going to talk more about what we can expect if you are going to be going to any of the drive-in fireworks shows this evening. That's coming up in just moments. But first this morning, we do have a traffic alert to let you know about in the far West Valley. I-10 is closed westbound at 411th Avenue this morning. That's near Tonopah. That closure caused by an overturned gas tanker. Police tell us the driver lost control of the rig and that there were several explosions after that crash. Sadly, we have learned that the driver died at the scene. Fire, ADOT, and hazmat crews are all helping out troopers right now. They are estimating a reopen at 7:30 this morning, so about another hour and a half. We will keep you updated as we learn more.
All right, no, hey, thank you for that. Well, it is the 4th of July, but obviously things are going to be quite a bit different this year. And of course, that's due to the coronavirus out there. A lot of parades and fireworks displays already canceled. But several industries, they're also shut down, and medical experts are warning that this weekend will be crucial in determining what direction the coronavirus outbreak goes from here. The governor's executive order banning large gatherings in Arizona's Department of Health Services telling everyone to keep those celebrations to just immediate family members to keep Arizona from continuing to see these massive number of new COVID-19 cases.
You know, be as smart and as safe as possible, and think about the people in your life that could be compromised by you bringing to them.
But others already making it clear that that's not what they plan to do. A First Amendment protest is happening outside the state capitol, and they're arguing against a second round of closures and a ban from mass gatherings, included in Governor Ducey's newest executive order. But that mandate does not apply to protests.
You know, Arizona isn't in it alone when it comes to these restrictions. We're looking at a similar story for Americans across the nation this holiday weekend as coronavirus cases rise in dozens of other states. ABC's Christine Sloan has a look.
A much different July 4th weekend amid a surging number of COVID-19 cases. Beaches closed in hotspots like Texas, California, and Florida. But it's the crowds that have leaders concerned.
It's not the beaches per se that are the problem. It's the crowds that are created. Crowds are not good.
More than 9,400 new infections in the Sunshine State. Nearly 15% of all tests positive. Employees at 30 public supermarkets also testing positive. A 10 p.m. curfew in effect in Miami to stop the spread.
What happened is that when somebody's at home for 6 weeks, they get tired and they really get stir crazy. So they're out in the streets. So people are fighting using the mask. Social distancing.
Arizona, one of 26 states seeing a rise in hospitalizations. ICUs at 91% capacity. Phoenix and San Antonio using pediatric ICUs for adults as they run out of beds. Texas Governor Greg Abbott ordering everyone across the Lone Star State to wear a mask. To stop the spread, up to 80% of fireworks displays in the U.S. canceled. But that's not stopping local leaders, including the mayor of Lancaster, California.
This is America, and this is our birthday, and it is the worst year that we have ever experienced. The only thing that'll stop it is handcuffs.
At least 19 states have reversed or paused reopening, imposing strict new rules, as concerns the virus may have mutated and spread more easily.
The virus replicates better and may be more transmissible.
Christine Sloan, ABC News, New York.
So let's bring the focus back at home here and catch you up on the latest COVID-19 cases in Arizona. We are getting close to 92,000 total confirmed cases and almost 1,800 deaths from the disease. It's a lot of people celebrating this holiday without their loved ones. Maricopa County does account for over 57,000 of the positive cases, with 602 people in the ICU right now. 825 Valley residents have died from this disease. Meantime, the Navajo Nation in the northeastern portion of Arizona is still one of the hardest hit areas in the nation so far. They're reporting another 56 cases and 2 deaths as well, bringing their total to just under 7,700 positive cases and 371 deaths since this all started. The nation is on lockdown now through Monday morning once again. Even essential businesses like gas stations and grocery stores have been ordered to close. The lockdown will continue the next 2 weekends as well. The Hopi Reservation, which is completely surrounded by the Navajo Nation, has also extended their stay-at-home orders through the end of July.
And a COVID-19 survivor is putting out a warning out there for everyone who might be thinking about going out. He says that you are probably placing yourself at risk, and he says it is not worth it.
Try to get the word out there. I try to tell, every time I see something on the news, they're not going to wear a mask, they're going to the bars. My stomach just turns just knowing that.
63-year-old Ed Cypress is finally back home, but life for him is anything but normal. He's still on oxygen, and he lost 50 pounds after spending months in the hospital, at times on a ventilator. He hopes that everyone follows those guidelines and keeps themselves and others safe.
But you know what? Many people still are not heeding that warning, and there are plenty who seemingly aren't worried about the virus. We even caught up with a man who tested positive for COVID-19 along with some of his friends. He says they all started feeling sick just days after visiting Varsity Tavern in Tempe. They're all feeling better now, and Adam Vargas says when he's done quarantining, he's probably going to go back out.
I think we should still keep the bars open. Right now, I would still go to the bars. Doesn't matter. It's like, just got to have a good time and not worry about it as much.
Varsity Tavern is currently shut down. An investigation by the state accuses the bar of not complying with COVID-19 health guidelines. Vargas says he doesn't hold any animosity against them, though. But here are the facts. Being in a crowded bar can be dangerous. This is what the CDC says about it. The closer that you interact with others and the longer that you do, the higher the risk of contracting COVID-19. Being indoors also raises your risk. And while it is older adults at higher risk of dying, Arizona health officials report half of the nearly 92,000 cases reported are among 22 to 44-year-olds.
New this morning, a large police presence near 16th Street and University. So far, we aren't sure exactly what's going on out there. Our crews on scene telling us that it looks like that there may be multiple scenes. We have reached out to police and we're waiting to hear back from them this morning. Plus, new video of a motorcycle crash in Phoenix. This happened last night. You can see that heavy police presence there near Cave Creek Road and Greenway. We're working to learn more about that driver and what led up to that crash. And some people in Glendale, they're waking up without power this morning after an electrical fire at an apartment complex. It happened early this morning at the Sienna Garden Apartments. That's on Coulter Street and 23rd Avenue. It appears that 8 units were affected. No word on any injuries at this time.
High fire danger is leading Phoenix to close many city parks and mountain preserves today. In fact, the city plans to close the gates at South Mountain State Park at 3 p.m. Alcohol and fireworks also banned within park grounds. Most of Tonto National Forest also shut down this weekend as well. Forest officials say this is all an effort to prevent wildfires, especially after the bushfire destroyed nearly 194,000 acres last month. And our conditions are still ripe for wildfire. We're very dry across the valley, despite a few sprinkles that some of you saw earlier this week. And we will stay dry today here in the valley. We're also turning up the heat big time. Our forecast high today, 110 degrees, 3 degrees above the average. So this is right about where we should be at this time. We're well off from the record, thankfully, of 118 that was set back in 1989. So if you do want to get out, get your run in, get your early morning hike in. Early is the key. We are not going to be in the 80s for much longer. We will be in the upper 90s already by 10 o'clock. And then by 2 this afternoon, it is toasty. 107 degrees and getting even hotter from there. We'll talk about how long this hot weather's sticking around and the rest of that holiday forecast coming up for you in just a little bit.
All right, no, hey, thank you. And we've been telling you that a lot of fireworks shows are canceled, but there are still a few fireworks shows that are going to be happening tonight across the valley. Westworld of Scottsdale is hosting a drive-in style display. It is $25 per car. Another display in Mesa, which you can watch for free from the parking lot of Fiesta Mall. And in Queen Creek, Schneff Farms canceled their event, but they will still set off fireworks for people who want to watch from home. You can find more details on all of these events at abc15.com/things to do. Well, it's 6:11 now on your Saturday morning. Coming up, protesters marching late into the night in Colorado demanding justice for Elijah McClain.
Also, demonstrators in South Dakota blocking the road to Mount Rushmore ahead of last night's big 4th of July bash. Why they say the president was not welcome. Well, at one of the nation's largest Independence Day celebrations this year, there was really no sign that we're in the middle of a pandemic. The president and first lady at Mount Rushmore last night for a fireworks celebration. No masks were required, and thousands of people packed into the crowd with no social distancing either. Just hours before that firework display, peaceful demonstrations gathering in South Dakota blocking the road to Mount Rushmore. Several vans blocking that road behind them. Native American protesters also singing and chanting, criticizing the president's celebration in an area that is sacred to them. The natives have also been severely impacted by the coronavirus, as we've been telling you this morning. And a large gathering like we saw last night could put lives at risk. Several protesters were arrested.
In Colorado, hundreds gathered in protest to see the firing of the officers involved in the death of Elijah McClain. Organizers say that they have no intentions of storming that precinct, but they will continue until those officers are held responsible. Now, earlier Friday, the 3 Aurora police officers, they were fired and 1 resigned in the fallout over a photograph imitating the chokehold used on Elijah McClain. One of the involved officers, Jason Roseblatt, was also involved in the arrest of McClain, who suffered a heart attack and died several days after the August 2019 encounter. The others involved, they are still serving. Elijah's family says that they expect murder charges for, quote, I'm quoting here, for the killers, the 3 killers, and they demand that APD fire all 3 immediately. And this morning we've got some grim new details about the soldier Vanessa Guillen, who has been missing now, and federal prosecutors say that someone who is already in custody, they claim to know how she was killed and how her body was disposed of. And Cicely Aguilar, she has confessed to helping her boyfriend, Army Specialist Aaron Robinson, get rid of Guillen's body. The complaint quotes that Aguilar said that Robinson told her that he had killed a female soldier by striking her in the head with a hammer multiple times, then moved her body in a box. Aguilar allegedly told authorities that she then helped Robinson dismember that body and attempted to burn it. Authorities say that Robinson killed himself Wednesday morning. The developments come after partial human remains were found on Tuesday. However, positive identification is still pending.
Let's turn our attention to the weather now and take a look at our neighbors to the west in Southern California. They're seeing some major flooding overnight. See that sailboat right there? It just washed right up near the shore. This is in Newport Beach, just flipping it over to the waves, just having their way with that sailboat. The National Weather Service saying that this flooding is the result of an elevated surf, and that is expected to last through the weekend. But beaches are closed over the holiday anyway due to coronavirus in California. Now, back here at home, if you have any celebrations planned, I don't think that there'll be a washout at all, especially here in the valley. We're staying dry. We do have a slight chance for scattered showers in portions of our state, though. So I put Futurecast into motion to show you that we could see those scattered showers up in the Window Rock area at around noon today. After 2 o'clock, we could see more scattered showers right along the rim in the higher elevation, stretching from the Grand Canyon through Flagstaff, Heber, and portions of Show Low as well. We could see an isolated cell in the Heber area, but it's looking to be short-lived and very focused. And then by 9 o'clock tonight, we start clearing out. So even if you planned on watching a fireworks celebration, it should still be dry and clear skies. We're certainly staying clear here in the valley. Our temperatures this morning, you'll notice if you're waking up in Winslow, Window Rock, or Flagstaff this morning, we're about 10 degrees cooler this morning than we were 24 hours ago. Show Low at this time is down about 5 degrees, but we're actually waking up warmer here in Phoenix and Casa Grande by about 5 degrees this morning. Our temperatures already in the 80s here in the valley. To our north, nice and comfortable in Prescott this morning, 58 I should say in Prescott, 66 in Payson. Show Low waking up in the 50s today. Flagstaff and the Grand Canyon holding on in the 40s to start off your Independence Day morning. What a nice treat for you. Here in the valley, we're seeing fewer and fewer 70s out there. It's 79 in Chandler holding on, and Wickenburg is holding on at 77 degrees, but we are in the 80s now in Queen Creek, Apache Junction, mid 80s in Tempe and Ahwatukee, and we're in the mid 80s in Goodyear as well, sitting at 84 degrees at this hour. If you are planning to cook out with the family today and celebrate the 4th, just be mindful that you do it early and that you keep lots of water nearby and stay safe next to that grill as it puts off more heat, because we're going to be really hot and cooking already as it is. By 10 a.m., we're at 97 degrees. By noon, we've already hit the triple digits, hitting that high temperature today right around 4 o'clock of 110. And look at our cool down, very slow. By 8 o'clock, we're still sitting at 104 degrees. So if you are going to be going to any of the drive-in fireworks shows, it is going to be hot. You'll probably be sitting in your car with the AC on as you watch the fireworks go up. Our highs across the valley today, 110 in places like Mesa, Gilbert, Ahwatukee, and Levine. A degree cooler than that in Glendale, Scottsdale, and Peoria. Anthem and Cave Creek staying at 105 today. So it's going to be very hot. Similar temperatures to our south, 108 in Casa Grande, 111 in Yuma, 109 in Lake Havasu City. We're toasty up in the Sedona, Prescott, and Payson area, all warming into the low to mid 90s. And north of the rim, we're looking at highs even in the upper 80s in Show Low, mid 80s in Flagstaff, Heber, and Window Rock for today. If you are still getting some work done, some chores around the house because you had that extra day off yesterday, here to mow the lawn, go ahead and do it. We're giving you the green light the next couple of days. We're staying dry. Just make sure you pick those earlier morning hours when you've got just a little bit of cooler weather. Rest of that holiday weekend forecast, 110 today, 111 for your Sunday. Going to be sizzling and staying right around 110 even as we start the new work week. Hot and dry the next several days. And it's just the beginning. I'll show you the rest of that 7-day forecast coming up a little bit later this morning, Mark.
All right, no, hey, thank you. I am craving barbecue this morning. Anything on the grill, I am all for it. Well, still ahead this morning, the most common injuries that doctors see on the 4th of July.
With many of the big Independence Day celebrations not happening now because of the pandemic, a lot of you might be trying to do your own fireworks at home, but there are some major concerns to think about. We've got wildfire danger, and also now is not the time for a trip to the ER. So helping us stay safe this morning is Kristen Bridges. She's the programs manager for the Arizona Burn Foundation. Kristen, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
So first, let's talk about hospital visits, because hospitals are already overwhelmed with COVID-19 patients right now. But what is the reality of how many people we typically see head to the emergency room over the 4th of July holiday?
So normally in a typical year across the United States, we see about 9,000 hospital visits just due to fireworks, and roughly 1/4 of those are from sparklers.
Sparklers. Now that's interesting because we do hear that there's a sparkler danger, and yet it's the one that everybody thinks is the most safe. They hand them off to their kids. What do we need to know about sparkler danger?
So sparklers are like already really, really crazy and pretty scary. So I'll kind of put it like this. You can bake a cake at 350 degrees. You can melt glass at 900 degrees, and your sparkler burns at 1200 degrees. So those sparklers get really, really, really hot, and they're also very dangerous because they can catch your clothes on fire, they can catch hair and flesh on fire. So it is really just safer to stay completely away from them.
Yeah, one of those things you don't think about at all. What are some of the other more common burn injuries that'll send someone to the hospital?
Around this 4th of July holiday, we see a lot of fireworks, we see a lot of sparklers, and unfortunately we see a lot of grill injuries. Because people are at home, they want to grill, they want to have some good food with some family, and especially with the social distancing that's going on right now, and with a lot of restaurants being closed or only to go, we will probably unfortunately see some more grill burns. So that's something that I think a lot of people need to be aware of and to just be really, really careful of this weekend.
Absolutely. Yeah, everybody likes a 4th of July barbecue, even if it's just with their own family. The other major piece that we have to talk about is our wildfire danger. We have had warnings week after week. It's very dry out there. So what do we need to know about that right now?
So the first thing that I would absolutely stress is that Arizona is currently under a stage 2 fire restriction, which means that all campfires, target shooting, and fireworks are banned across the entire state. In a normal year, we see about 19,000 fires started due to fireworks. 19,000, that's crazy. We already know that Arizona has had more than enough fires this year. It's very windy. So because of that stage 2 fire restriction, no fireworks are allowed at all.
Yeah, we definitely all need to do our part to, one, make sure that we don't start another wildfire, but also that puts the focus on helping our first responders. They're already busy and overwhelmed. We don't need them darting between neighborhoods trying to put out fires and keep them from spreading as well. So what would you say is your best advice for people to stay safe this holiday weekend if they really insist on using those fireworks or cooking out?
So I would say absolutely no fireworks at all. Some safe alternatives are things like glow sticks, silly string, confetti poppers, a light show, go have a movie with your family in the backyard. Those are some really safe alternatives. If you do find yourself at an event where there are fireworks, please be smart, keep your very, very safe distance, watch your children very closely, watch your pets very closely. And if you are grilling, make sure that you are keeping your family, children, pets 6 feet away from the grill at all times. Make sure that the grill is about 10 feet away from your home. Make sure it's away from any patio furniture you have. Don't put it underneath any eaves. Don't put it underneath any tree branches. And make sure that you test it before you light it.
Kristen Bridges from the Arizona Burn Foundation. So many great tips. We still want people to be able to celebrate, but do so safely. I really appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you.